What team you on, Jason?
I ain't even on the team, Matt, but assign me to one now.
You a free agent? Hold on, come here. You on the free agent team?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you hooping in today?
Shit, I got my little mellows, the Pumas. Feel me?
Those hard. Those nasty with it. I like those colorways, man.
Oh yeah.
You
You know I always got them bright shoes on me, bro. From the Jaws, to the Kobas, to the Kyries, to the Pumas. Everything. I got that all.
You excited to play?
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, you one fan for life.
Oh yeah, of course.
One.
4 different teams. 4 different teams.
Yeah.
And we still winning on every one.
Real niggas zone.
Man, shout out to the black team. They came from all over. They ain't even really asked so many questions. I told them pull up. They pulled up, ready to compete. They fought hard out there. You know, they didn't make it into the play-in tournament, but it was a pleasure having them. Cal and Alex and the twins, AJ and Drew, and hopefully they come to the next event. Our beloved Jason, one fam little brother, and Jalen, my neighbor, they were holding down the scores tables. Also, there was 2 free agents left over. 4 of them together made up the purple team. Shout out to the New York team and the 2 high school teams that didn't show up. So they left us with an odd number. So we ended up having a play-in tournament. So all the teams with a losing record will play in the play-in tournament. The purple team is going to be a wild card. They're going to get a spot in the play-in tournament as well as a spot in the championship tournament. Jason was going crazy. He kept telling me, yo, Matt, look at the highlights. I was going crazy. And then sure enough, when I went to the highlights, he was taking dudes off the dribble, in and out, cross, hanging in the air, floaters. He was playing defense. That's what he's really known for. He's a lockdown perimeter defender. He comes up with steals. And, you know, for his size, he comes up with a lot of blocks, jumping as high as he can and playing strong with anticipation. Manny, they had a losing record during the first round. Some close, tough losses. They were playing good the whole time. But once he found out he had another chance, he took it to another level. You know, he came to me early. He thought he was eliminated. And we found out he wasn't. He was attacking his purple team relentlessly. He didn't give them, you know, a chance. Kyrie didn't play much, but, you know, anytime he touches the ball, he makes it look real easy putting it in the hoop. Jack continued to attack just the same way he was doing in the round robin. And James is a lot stronger than he looks, and he knows how to really throw his body at people. It was good to see Jalen get off the scores table and finally get some minutes because he's been helping us as staff, like at every one fam event. This was the first time that he actually got to get out there and play, and when he makes up his mind, he's going to the rack because of his size and speed and the way he protects the ball. It's not really too many people that could keep him out of there. So, you know, the purple team, this was their first action of the night. And it was tough because the white team was locked in. And at this point, you know, they were tired of losing.
Purple and navy. Come on now. Advance. Another game, baby. Let's score some vote. Yo, Bugs, my guy. We're meta. Matt.
Delir and the dark gray team with Cam and Dom. A lot of size, a lot of strength, a lot of touch, a lot of basketball IQ, a lot of chemistry. They had a nice chance to win this whole thing. So seeing them in the play-in, now they got to face against Juju and the dark blue team with Mike Sosa and Adonis and Chris, the high schooler. Shout out to them because they pulled up and played with Juju. You know, Juju has some other talent that didn't show up. And shout out to Juju because even though his teammates flopped on him, he still came through and tried to, you know, compete as hard as he could. But, you know, when Delir starts hitting shots from outside, you're in trouble because he has such good ball handling. He's so strong. He can get to the rack pretty much any time. So once you back up to try to stop that from happening, he starts making jump shots. Pretty much unguardable at that point. It was good to see him get in his groove and, you know, get in his bag, hit a couple different moves. I feel like the dark gray team was the favorite to win this, but with Adonis being aggressive, getting to the rack, using his speed, and knocking down jump shots, playing hard, this game was actually really close. Don, the thing with Don is that he moves at his own pace, and he covers a lot of ground with his steps. So defensively and offensively, he's able to just get to the spots that he needs to then use his length and his fluidity and strength to make a play. And anytime he's like close to the rim, once he throws it up there, you can pretty much count the 2 points. But the blue team, the dark blue team, they didn't back down. They were playing defense. Mike Sosa really came to play. It's funny that he actually didn't come to play. He didn't know he was going to play. He came to watch and support. And then, I asked him to suit up after I found out Juju's teammates flaked on him. And he was going crazy. He was hitting from outside. He was attacking, playing hard. But ultimately, the dark gray team was too strong. They could just dump it down to Cam. They dumped it down to him multiple times in a row. He was hitting post jump hooks and post spin fades. And he just kept throwing it right in the rim. It was just their size and versatility was too much. And it still was a close game. It came down to shooting foul shots, and Cam knocked one down, and then they weren't able to box Dom out. You got to put back. And, the dark blue team, even though they competed, the dark gray team was too much for them. The final playing game, winner advances to the tournament. Manny understood the implications of this game. He came out firing, being aggressive. Cam understood the implications of this game. He came out being physical, using his strength, getting his jump shot up. Cam is like the coolest superstar. Sometimes people say he's being too cool, but anytime he turns it up and decides to be aggressive and play hard, he's a tough cover. In this game, just like every other game, Jack and James just kept relentlessly attacking the rim and attacking the offensive glass and going back up strong and just using their length and athleticism to punish the other team nonstop. It was a physical game, a lot of defense being played on both sides. Both teams were attacking the paint aggressively and getting to the rim and finishing. Dom got rolling, found his outside shot. The dark gray team pretty much had this game in the bag. All they had to do was hit some free throws, and they missed free throw after free throw after free throw until eventually they gave the white team too many chances. Manny jumped into 3 defenders and hit this turnaround fade tough to take the lead. And despite having all those chances to close the game out, Dark Gray got to the line again with another opportunity to hit a free throw and seal this game, this time to take the lead. All those opportunities they had would have gave them a nice comfortable lead and probably closed the game out. But after missing so many and then Manny getting that bucket and taking the lead, this is the most important free throw of them all because this one will give them the lead back. And they miss again, and that's it. Game over. White advances. Dark Gray is going home. The women's side was turned up. Just the physicality they were playing with, the aggression, the toughness. It was like, a lot of battling. And I felt like most of the crowd was tuned into the women's side and just really impressed with like the force they were playing with and just the competitive spirit they had over there. Like, it wasn't that much complaining to the refs. There's a lot more passing, a lot of high IQ plays, a lot more camaraderie. It was just, they put on a show. For the women's bracket, Tyra and the number 1 seeded gray team, they got a first round bye. And the number 2 seeded Ari and the white team will face against the number 3 seeded Trey and the pink team in the first round. This game featured a matchup between 2 of the top scorers in the whole women's tournament. Jazz, she was relentless inside. She just kept attacking the offensive glass. She was using her size and strength to get anything she wanted in the paint. And she seemed really determined to enforce her will and physicality down low. When these 2 teams met in the first round, it was clear that Pink was going to have a hard time guarding Ari. Her ability to shoot over screens and the range that she has and the quickness she shoots them with, it always presents a tough cover. Like, you have to be really disciplined when you're guarding the pick and roll and Ari's involved. And she uses her ball handling and her body control and quickness, soft touch to get into the paint, where she throws these floaters and, you know, post hooks. And she's a tough cover for anybody. So we already knew before the game started that she would be attacking. And, you know, Jaylin was doing everything she could to provide some help. But ultimately, the pink team, they had so many different players attacking and so many different dimensions to the way that they played offense. You know, the ball was constantly moving. They had body movement. Their guards were hitting from outside and penetrating. They had shooters, multiple people making jump shots, multiple people making plays. It wasn't just all Jasmine. So even though the white team won when they played each other in the first round, it was clear that at this point of the tournament, the pink team was clicking and they were the superior team. So they advanced to the championship. There was a lot of hype around the women's championship game. The crowd stood to watch. Everybody wanted to see who was going to win this thing. And Tyra was aggressive right from the go. You know, she's very strong. She has a good close shot, a good post mid-range fade. And she was really looking to be aggressive and get into the paint and make things happen early, which was a good sign for the gray team. Their ball movement and, you know, just how much focus they have on getting shots inside and close to the basket, they're very fundamentally sound. The pink team, before the tournament started, I had considered them the favorites. You know, Trey was somebody that I talked to pretty often. I knew she was going to come ready to play and she was going to bring her girls. Maria started to get it going in the championship game when it mattered most. You know, seeing her shoot from outside and then get into the paint and finish through contact was big. One of the things with the gray team was just how much defense they played. They were coming up with a lot of steals and a lot of rebounds, and they were determined to get Jen the ball, which is important. Just knowing who your scorers are. You know, everybody can play and everybody can do different things, but just knowing like who you want to have the ball in these big moments, and then being very supportive of whatever decisions they make, and looking for them without the ball and getting them multiple touches in one position. These things are like crucial, and the gray team did a really good job of it, and Jen was you know, making it pay off. The pink team, they similarly were moving the ball really well and finding their best scorer, Jazz. She was aggressive all tournament, and no matter what the defense threw at her, it never really felt like anybody figured her out. I felt like she was so patient and strong with her dribble and getting to her spots, and then, you know, fully locking in on making these tough shots, these mid-range pull-ups and these step-back threes and one dribble off the bounce, you know, in a defender's face, step-back threes and Euro step into the lane, and she was just unstoppable. It was a tightly contested game. It went down to the wire, overtime actually, where Jazz hit another big shot and took the lead until they went to Kia late down the stretch, spin move, post, work. She tied the game up. So we were in a situation where each team was just looking for one bucket to take the lead. And Jen and Tyra went straight to the pick and roll, something they were having a lot of success with throughout the entire game. It was a situation where Jen is at the line with an opportunity to win the championship. And she knocks it down. Game over.
Game.
MVP of the tournament.
Here we go.
Let y'all go without this.
Yeah. We'll take our money too. Appreciate y'all. Okay. What did you say? Check that part out. Okay. Money. You don't get money.
Now for the men's tournament, Lid and the light gray team, they went undefeated in the round robin, so they got the #1 seed. Ryan and the yellow team, they had the best record in their group, so they got the #2 seed. Both the #1 seed and the #2 seed got a first round bye. Vinny and the blue team got the 3rd seed. They'll be facing the winner of the play-in, which was Manny and the white team. And Bugs and the red team, they were the 4th seed. They'll be facing against the purple team, the wild card. The red team was a tough team. They had a good roster. Bugs put together a good roster, and he was, very proud of this roster. He had a lot of belief in them. And, in this first round matchup against the purple team, the purple team had my guy Zay. He was the last remaining free agent. He was using his speed and change of direction to get to the line. He ended up shooting 2 free throws worth 2 points each just by beating guys off the dribble and being aggressive, putting his head down and making his mind up that he was going to get to the lane. Jalen was actually playing well. He actually almost dropped his defender here, shot a step back 3, got the crowd into it. But the red team was like, they had their mind made up that this was another opportunity for them to go for the chip, and they weren't going to let this purple team stop them. Jason shifting dudes off the dribble. He was shooting jump shots off the dribble as he pulls, catch and shoot jump shots. He's been training with One Fam and getting better every game. But in this game here, it was clear who the best player was, and it wasn't even close. And he was kind of just having his way with the other team. Zay, everybody knows what Zay could do. So seeing him use his speed to attack off the dribble and finish through contact is always going to be scary because, he's known for his jump shot and his ability to shoot off the dribble and shoot from far. So once he starts getting a lot of layups, it's kind of like you could tell that his aggression is on a different level. The blue team had been sitting for a while, but they were ready to go. Any team with Mike Davis making all these shots has a legitimate chance to compete for a championship, especially when Rod is playing with him and playing as well as Rod was playing. But they got to face against this white team. This white team came all the way from the play-in, led by Manny. Early on in the game, both teams were moving the ball, finding the open man, hitting big threes. It was very competitive from the start. It was more of the same with James just, enforcing his will, using his length, and attacking close to the basket, offensively and defensively, just making his presence felt with his athleticism. And Mike Davis was locked in, man. He was taking guys off the dribble, hitting tough step-back threes, triple threat jab step 3 right in somebody's face, coming, off the screen to catch and shoot, putting the ball on the floor, taking taller defenders all the way to the rack. Regular Mike Davis stuff. But the length and athleticism of the white team with Manny as a guard and James and Jack as forwards, catching dunks, hanging on the rim, playing above the rim. They were pretty much the only team with 2 players that were playing above the rim. And you could feel it all game. Like, they were nonstop making their presence felt. And the game was tied down at the end of regulation. Both teams had a shot to end it with the time winding down, and neither team got the shot to go. So we were headed into overtime. First of 2 baskets wins. Mike hits this long 3-pointer to start the overtime and give them the lead. He had another chance there to end the game, but he was off the mark with that one. And since they weren't over the bonus, the foul sent the white team to the line where they were able to tie it up. Mike had another chance at a basket to win the game, but it was very physical down low, and they were fighting, and ultimately they had to foul James, sending him back to the free throw line. And his free throw make here would have sealed the game, but he missed, and Jack was able to catch another offensive rebound. Just another example of the white team's size and athleticism giving guys trouble this whole tournament. After he got fouled again, he was able to make the free throw and seal the deal. And the white team, after winning the play-in tournament, advances to the semifinals. Let's flash back to the round robin when the red team faced versus the light gray team. The red team was dominating in that round, and they were blowing teams out. The only loss they took was versus this light gray team right here, and they were playing good. It was a tightly contested game. Zay and Say and Gus were aggressive, and they were making their presence felt. It's just the light gray team, they were playing so much defense and with so much intensity that the red team was never able to really pull away. And Lid was just, nonstop with his athleticism, attacking and attacking and attacking on both sides of the court. He was having his way getting to the rim. And, with Tyon added into the mix, it was just so much speed and athleticism and force that this light gray team was playing with that I think they pretty much knew they were going to win the entire time. And it was a really close game. It went into overtime, but Jaden McDowell hit the tough three to take them into overtime, and then he hit the three to win the game. And the red team, despite all the success they had that night, it looked like Zay took that loss really hard, and he was thinking about it the whole night. So everything they were doing for the rest of the day, it just felt like they had that light gray team on their mind, and they were looking forward to another chance to play against them. So Zay was really going to need his teammates to step up and be aggressive. Because as fate would have it, the red team would have to go through the light gray team if they wanted to win the championship. And just like in the first round, Lid was relentless. He kept using his speed to create downhill situations out of nowhere. Like his change of pace and his ability to hop back and forth from space to space with the ball. It's like no one on any of the teams could keep him out of the paint. And they shouldn't feel bad because he plays college ball, and no one on any of those other teams could keep him out of the paint either.
His bounce is crazy, bro. That nigga touched the ground, bounce right back up. Got that shit.
Zay was on a mission. He spent like over an hour thinking about another chance to play against this team, and he was locked in. He had it going from out beyond the arc. He was getting to the paint with 1 or 2 dribbles, finishing through contact. And it was just clear that he was locked in, like he came to this game on a mission. He wanted to prove that he could beat this team. And if they lost, it was going to be of no fault of his own because he was just nonstop attacking. And they didn't have much success keeping him out of the paint. When he drives left and he scoops underhand with his right, that's like one of his signature moves. But the light gray team, just the amount of effort they were putting on defense was making it hard for the rest of Zay's teammates to score. Say had to fight for his baskets down in the paint. And just like in the round robin, this game was so tightly contested. Jaden McDowell had to hit a tough catch and shoot 3 to send it into overtime. And then in overtime, he hit another 3 to take the lead. And, in overtime, we're just going to let this play here. It was such a tightly contested game. Nobody knew who was going to win. So once the light gray team took the lead, it's not like you could just assume that the game was over because we all knew they were going to find a way to get that ball back into Zay's hands. And by the way that he was playing all game, we knew he was going to get back into the paint and get something good. So once he got this layup.
Next basket wins, right?
It's going 2 or 3. It's over. Next basket. They're going to stop. They're going to foul. If they driving in, they got no choice but to foul or whatever. Look, bro, he didn't check it. He just grabbed it. He didn't check the ball. Oh, my God. Yeah. Y'all all grown men. Yeah, bro. You know what he got? Hey, bro, they got obvious. Yeah, like he touched it. 2, 1, move! Hey! Yo, that was tough. Man, nowhere to put that. That was tough. Yo, he was up there. He could have dunked that shit back, yo. You heard?
Ryan and the yellow team with Chris and Taj and Brandon, they hadn't played in a while. They were sitting patiently. They got that first round bye, so all they needed was 2 games to win the championship. They were ready to go. The white team with Manny and Jack and James and Cy and Kyrie, they had to fight their way all the way from the bottom of the play-in, and they were fighting and fighting and fighting, and their togetherness was really taking them to new heights. In this semifinal matchup, I knew Manny was going to be locked in. He kept telling me he was locked in, and I just knew that he could smell blood at this point because he had been fighting all night, and now he was only 2 wins away from winning the championship. So I anticipated that he was going to put his head down and get to the rack as much as he possibly could and play as strong as he could. On the other side, Chris had finally figured out how to play with his teammates. He was able to optimize his movement off ball and really score with 0 to 1 dribble off of catch and shoots and step backs and follow throughs and backdoor cuts. And, his team needed that because a lot of the way they were scoring was basically creating tough shots for themselves. So it was good to see Chris play that way. Brandon, he's one of those tough shot makers. Like, he likes to take guys off the dribble and shoot step back threes and one leg fadeaways, and he had it going in this game. Todd was able to knock down catch and shoot here and there, and ultimately this game was going to come down to stops because Jack and James, they had been getting to the rack throughout the whole day. So we kind of just knew if they could keep attacking the rack and getting dunks with 2 hands, it would be tough for anyone to beat them. And then when people started backing off, James was able to knock down threes. Because of the white team's physicality, they kept getting into the bonus, and they took the lead on a free throw, and the clock expired. The last shot that the other team got was a half-court turnaround heave by Taj. So after coming all the way from the play-in tournament, the white team worked their way all the way to the championship game. And all the teams they beat were good, but none were like this light gray team. This light gray team, with the addition of Tyon, their defense and their togetherness with Jaden McDowell and Lid and Angel and Savo, they were on another level. Right off the rip, it was clear that James and his activity around the rim and in the paint was going to create problems for this light gray team. So they had to go under screens and kind of back up off of him, which opened up room for his 3-point jump shot, which he's able to shoot off the dribble right over the defender. And Jack, he was knocking it down from outside as well. But more importantly, just his ability to jump into the paint and finish with the right hand or the left hand through contact. It was clear that this light gray team, with all their guards, was going to have trouble keeping these guys out of the paint. So they needed their guards to come up big, and that was something that really helped them in this tournament and in this championship game because they had 4 guards and they were all making plays. Savo knocking down some shots and making defensive plays, and Angel making defensive plays. And then Lid didn't care how tall these guys were. He uses his size-up dribbles, his scissor step, hesitation, misdirection, movements to just explode and get all the way to the cup. And then every time they needed a big play, it was like Jaden McDowell was there to come up with a steal or to come up with an assist. And, it was just important for this team, this light gray team with all these guards. As you see, Jaden McDowell hit a tough off-the-dribble tween step-back contested 3. It was important for their guards to play big. And Jaden McDowell was playing big, man. He was coming off the screens. He was shooting threes with confidence. Every time Jaden McDowell team needed a big shot, he was there to hit a 3. That time they came up with it. They wanted him to hold it. He said, for what? Manny's team, they needed 1 bucket to tie the game, or 3. And they got a good shot at it right there, and an offensive rebound with another chance. But ultimately, the defense from the light gray team was smothering them. And that's it. Game over. Light Gray wins. Lid, Jaden, Angel, Savo, and Tyon are your 2025 One Fam Nation Open 3v3 champions.
Nah, yo, y'all said y'all was coming back. Y'all said y'all was coming back.
He said, I love me some mics. Hey, yo.
How much? Hey, yo, though. I'm saying, like, come on, you're childish. Why do you even have that, right? Why do you even have it?
I was sending it to all the mics we know. You're gay. I didn't say it, you said it.
Yeah!
I told you it was.
Stop playing with
Yeah, baby.
MVP award, yo.
One mic.
My boy Jaden, man, came
Yes, sir. That boy came through hooping. That boy came through hooping.
I'm playing with him. You feel me?
I come redeem myself from last year. Y'all know something, man. Hold up. I respect my team. And they can't guard you. They can't guard me. Nobody in here can guard me. Yo, what you say you came here for? Let them know. Came here for a mix, so I don't mind mix. Yo, Lynn. Yeah, man, make sure niggas get right, man. We coming.
I'll send this to all of y'all.
Tomorrow, yeah, like 10
Everybody.
And then I need another picture for the staff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coming back. Word too.
Y'all niggas get right, man. Yes, sir. You over here, bro?
Nah.
Everybody on the know. Yo, hold up, one fan. One fan. Yes, sir. One fan. 3v3 change 2025.
I'm putting in my own team next. I'm coming through.
Yo, we got fine for 5v5 tournament. Let us know when that is. Yo, what's the word? Seven for that?
Yeah, that's how you feel it.
Wait, no.
You feel me?
My daughter.